Okay, time for the Tesla weekly update here, and we're going to start always on the weekly chart. And pretty much the 8 EMA has been a solid support for a while now, for many weeks, and it still closed the week above, wicked above the resistance of the 21 EMA, which is currently at 183.76, and now it's still building another base for possible leg higher, right? It still hasn't broken any levels at all, and if we even put on the Ichimoku here, we can still see that the conversion line of the Ichimoku is still holding as support, and which kind of means that it's still just in a big range from 168 to 180, like 180, 89, 80, maybe 190, right? So this is the big range right here. And if we ever do get a weekly close above this 21 EMA, which we haven't seen since right here was the last time it closed above, and that was December of 2023. So if we get a weekly close above this 21 EMA, then we will most likely go higher to the 200 level where there will be more resistance, and then possibly we'll go try to fight these moving averages here up above, right? And one thing that I saw today that I mentioned on X is, we'll take off these indicators first, is the daily chart. And the daily chart is exactly backtesting the 100-day moving average, which currently is at 178.35. So it did close a little bit below. But when we add back on the 8 EMA, 821 EMA right there, you can see that I had another bullish cross right there. See, the 8 crossed above the 21, and then it successfully backtested the 21, or sorry, the 8 EMA at 177.26. So it wicked through it, right? So, but it closed above, which is a bullish sign. So it's closed above for the past 3 days. 1, 2, 3, right? This one closed above the 8, closed above the 8, and closed above the 8. And then if we add the Ichimoku back on for the daily cloud, or the daily chart, you can clearly see that it's still above the cloud, and it's just back testing levels. So we have a clear breakout above the 100, above a lot of indicators, then a back test of the 8 EMA, almost the top of the cloud too, and then possibly what we'll see in the weeks to come is maybe more ranging. But if this 100-day moving average can hold throughout the week, then it should start to build another base higher, like I mentioned before, to continue its trend upwards. And having this cloud green and basically above the cloud is a good indicator for the daily chart. Now, if we go to the Gann on linear scale, nothing has changed there, just still in a range, right? Still, the ultimate support of the Gann sits around 150. The ultimate resistance up here will sit around 226, 227, so it's in a range on that Gann. And then Gann on log scale, we can clearly see the support from the swing high right here down to the swing low. We can clearly see the support of the 382 around 174, 175, right? And when we zoom in, you can see how well that support held. So that is more confluence of this 382 right here, that this level should hold, which kind of coincides with that 8 EMA and the conversion line on the weekly chart of the Ichimoku, right? So this is still looking fine, right? It broke out, back tested a gap right here, now building a base to possibly continue higher above the 382. So if this level holds in the weeks to come, it should build its way back up to the $200 level, where there should be more resistance. And then the 0.5 sits around 206, right? $206. So this range will be the next major resistance level. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And lastly, we'll look at the angles here. And the angles chart is looking basically the same as it wicked through the blue angle here. Didn't quite get to this downward sloping angle, but the way it's looking is this is another confluence of why it's building a base higher, because of this blue angle here, which means that in the weeks to come, it could start testing the upper level of this resistance angle sloping down. And where does the 200 level meet on this angle sloping down? Well, it will meet right around here, maybe around September of 2024, right? So could it just go sideways for a while and then finally break out? Yes, it could, right? So we'll pay attention to this. This level right here, the 168 to the 170 level, is very important for Tesla. This must hold going into weekly closes. If it ever closes a week below the 168 level, then there's a possibility of going lower to test lower levels. So we're going to keep an eye on that going in the future, but so far so good. Despite that long wick up this week, it still closed the week relatively fine and a little bit flat, which is not a bearish sign at all.